Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment clip. My name is Wood. I'm not gonna hang in here really long. I'm not really waiting for any audience or anything like that to come into the chat. It wouldn't be no more than two or three people anyway. But some new music came out this week, and I listened to one of the projects already a few times and was pretty pleased with it. Obviously, you saw the title. It's the latest by Flea Lord, who dropped No More Humble Fashion, which is his 11th album of 2020. You see, I need this haircut, man. Ah, damn. Um, so I'm gonna talk about the album No More Humble Fashion. With the album, I'm kind of not sure what the title means. I think he's talking about don't move in a humble fashion. Like don't be a humble cat and how you go about your business. I don't think fashion is referring to like clothing, sneakers and stuff like that. I didn't do a whole lot of research to see what was behind the title, but it's an somewhat interesting title. I'll get to the album here in just a second. I did want a quick housekeeping. Another project I'm gonna check out after this, as I'm watching this fight, is another artist who I've become pretty interested in and keeping an eye on is Willie the Kid. I'm pretty sure it's Grand Rapids, Michigan. I like dudes. I like dude's presentation. I like his thought. How he carries himself and how he puts his work out. I think he's on this one with V Don, might be the exclusive producer for this album, but it's called Deutsche Marks 2. I broke down and listened to parts of Deutsche Marks, the first one, knowing that this was a sequel. I checked out Deutsche Marks, and I noticed some growth from that point to the last album of Willie the Kids that I talked about, Capital Gains. I've noticed some improvements, some growth with V Don as a producer, as well as Willie Kid as an MC, as a writer, as a lyricist. So I'm very interested to hear this the Deutsche Marks 2. I checked out the lead off single Plum Wine. I thought it was dope. So I'm very eager to check out the rest of that album. Another new music note, Shay Noir, 2020's unsung hero, in my opinion, and who should be firmly in the album of the year discussion with damn, as it was intended. I listened to so much as it was intended. I think with her and Apollo Brown, or as God intended. There it is, as God intended. So she has a new album coming out, EP, December 4th. It's called After 12. And some of the artwork, the cover artwork, the playlist is on her Instagram page. And she has a snippet of the first single, which is called Cruise Control, featuring Mussolini. I keep seeing this Mussolini cat's name, and I don't know. I haven't looked into him enough individually to see if that's the same Mussolini that was down with Noriega. I don't think so. But I guess I haven't, like I said, I just haven't looked into him enough to really get him on my radar and figure all that out. And another thing that I've talked about, what's going on with music right now, man, is so much content out there, so many artists, there's so many projects out there, and there's no central place like the basement, Yo MTV Raps. There's no channel that you can turn to see all of these guys and see interviews with all of these guys. You can follow a bunch of shit here on YouTube, I guess, with some of the bigger channels who get these guys on there, and you can know, maybe they had these guys on there. You can know what they look like. You know, you can hear them talk and talk about their art and their catalogs and their projects and whatnot, and get a chance to know them. But there's so many guys, man, and some of the guys who are kind of the prospect MCs, the up and coming, the fourth dude on the team, the fifth dude on the team. You just don't always know who they are. You can check them out on their Instagram pages though, maybe, and get a feel for them there. And if you want to go that deep, that's how you can get at it. But from what I heard from the cruise, one dope thing about After 12 is that Shay Noir is actually producing this, handling all of the production. It's only like 7 or 8 songs on there, but she's handling all of the production on there. I think that's a very interesting development for her and what she's doing for her career and as an artist. We saw that Royce the 5'9" made it to the Royce's one of the Grammy nominations for Album of the Year, for Hip Hop Album of the Year, and he handled all of the production for his the Allegory is the name of the album. I didn't really want to do a reaction to the Grammy nominations for Hip Hop Album of the Year, but Alfredo, I'm sorry, with Gibbs and Alchemist is in there, Nas and King's Disease, the Allegory with from Royce to 5'9", and then damn, that's 4. The one that I haven't listened to, Black Habits from D. I haven't listened to him yet. I know he came out with Deontay Wilder back in February for the heavyweight title fight between Deontay Wilder and damn, what is dude's name? I know it's not D Styles, D Woods. Anyway, I believe it's only those 5. Is there another one that I'm forgetting? I think that's it. So yeah, I really don't have a reaction to that. I would probably side with Nas to get it. It's interesting that Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist got a nomination. And then the Allegory, I wouldn't be mad at that one either. It's dope that he got a nomination, handling the production. It's like 22 songs on the Allegory, and really not much fast forward material on there. Anyway, man, let me get into Flee Lord, No More Humble Fashion. Let me put the spotlight on him since, that's the title of the video. I don't have much bad to say about this album, man. I mean, Flee Lord is a workaholic. He's a gym rat or a studio rat. He stays in the gym getting up shots, and No More Humble Fashion pretty much delivers. I'm not gonna go into too many of his lyrics. I don't think straightforward lyricism is not really the selling point about Flee Lord, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I think what makes him interesting as an artist and what helps him stand out as a rapper, as an artist, is his commitment, his ambition, his his work ethic as part of his commitment, his entertainment value, and the quality, his album making, the way that he puts his albums together, choosing to work, the producers that he chooses to work with, the features that he puts in place on the specific songs that he gets them for. And then, like I said, man, I listen to him while I'm getting in some of my bike rides or when I'm doing some of my workouts in the house, and he makes a very entertaining album. I don't think bar for bar, he doesn't really blow me away with much of his as a deep lyricist. But like I said, he makes solid albums, and he's extremely entertaining, and he's consistent as hell. This is a very consistent album. It's 12 tracks on here, 3 interludes or skits that are all entitled No More Humble Fashion, the intro, No More Humble Fashion, the skit, and then No More Humble Fashion, the outro, and then 9 songs. The only song on here that I'm really I'm really take it or leave it, is track number 3, produced by Ghost Dave, which is a new producer that I'm just now hearing about with this project. But Skinny Pete in the Dutch, it's not horrible, but it's probably the weakest track on here. Everything else on here is pretty much fire in my opinion. I got everything at beat wise, production wise. I have everything at 4 stars or better. A lot of them are 4.5, 4.75 stars in my opinion. The Ghost Dave dude, I haven't heard. Like I said, I hadn't heard of him before. Um, I checked him out on Instagram. You know, he's talking about this project and promoting this project. He actually produced, Ghost Dave produced track 2, Rock to the X, featuring Jaja God. He produced Skinny Pete in the Dutch, as I just mentioned. He also produced Cut It 3 Times, which features West Side Gun, which is one of my favorite beats on there, on the project. And then he also did Doors Locked, which features Conway. I'm not that big on the beat. I gave that one a 3.5, 3.75 stars. But Conway, but the lyrical performances are what make that song work and bring it all together. Another dude that I see a couple of beats on here is from a dude who I've been one of my top 5, top 3 guys right now in terms of production is Me Fucks. Me Fucks did track 6, West Coastin', which is it's a unique kind of combination of West and South beat that features TF. But I love that track. And then Me Fucks also did damn, I thought I wrote down Me Fucks' name twice. I think he did one of the, and that's the thing. I checked on Genius; they don't even have the production credit, the producer credits listed, which kind of frustrated me a little bit because I like to give all the dudes. Oh, No More Humble Fashion skit 2. I think Me Fucks did the beat on that one. So there's actually 4 tracks that are No More Humble Fashion. There's the 3 that I mentioned, which one of those was No More Humble Fashion skit, and then there's a track 10 is No More Humble Fashion skit 2, which I think is produced by Me Fucks. So I'm not gonna run through all of these song for song. I think that the first time listening to it, the lead off joint, No More Humble Fashion intro, really catches my attention and is maybe one of the better rap performances by Fleet Lord on here. It's got a nice piano, some scratching at the beginning, and then it's just kind of smoothed out, which is kind of different for Fleet Lord. He doesn't do a lot of smoothed out stuff, except maybe the Pray for the Evil 2 had that. It wasn't that boom bap dungeon sound on there. The Pray for the Evil 2. But No More Humble Fashion, the intro really gets the album cooking. Rock to the X, real boom bap type beat, decent appearance by Jaja God, somebody I've never heard before. I think he might be part of what Fleet Lord refers to as the Lord Mob. That song is solid. I mean, I got 4 for the production, just on it being boom bap. And like I said, it's me getting to know Ghost Dave cat. Track 3, Skinny Pete in the Dutch. Already talked about that. Cut It 3 Times with West Side Gun. This production on this track is really ill. I got this one at like 4.5, 4.75 easy. I like West Side Gun, and I like that combination of West Side Gun and Fleet Lord. I think they had one of the better joints together. I can't even remember what West Side Gun project that was. That might even been, I think that was on Pray for the Evil 2 is what I'm thinking of. But anyway, those dudes play off of each other pretty well. And I think it's only right because sometimes if I'm getting into my truly taking a look at some different details about Fleet Lord, the fact that he freely, uses the ad lib of West Side Gun with the all of that stuff, it has to be some type of kinsmanship there. That there's no static over that practice. Top back chopper lit. Top back chopper lit. It's like this R&B jazz sample with a horn. One of my favorite drum tracks, or maybe it's the beats per minute that I like. But he has a little bar in here, a little sports reference about in the club with the heaters out like Plexico. This song might only have one verse, one longer verse versus two verses, but it's one of the better tracks on here, in my opinion. Top back, chopper lit. It's kind of talking about enjoying his success a little bit, moving around, traveling a little bit. It's a dope record. West Coasting is just, the beat is just sick. I mean, it is. The beat is fire, and the TF dude added a nice change of pace to the album. West Coasting is a dope record. No More Humble Fashion skit. I love the production on this. It's some keys, some synth or something. I don't know, but another dope beat. Paying Bills with Cocaine. More keys, a nice sample. There's a breakdown in the beat. Sounds like a tambourine going throughout. Obviously, paying bills with with cocaine is talking about the struggle and the grind of the streets and street life and all of that type stuff. Very solid record. Doors Locked featuring Conway. I hate that I'm not highlighting any particular verse or bars from Flea Lord, but Conway just, the way that he pops up on this record is just dope. I'm a fan of how you start a verse. A lot of people probably are. But he comes in and says, look, rocking designer to my feet. I'm a lion, you a sheep. Rhyming to elite. Effortlessly gliding through a beat. And goes on to something, why you trying to compete? Something you lying through your teeth. I'm at the Mercedes dealership buying a fleet. And goes on something, I'm like Thanos with the stones, making half of you ninjas disappear. It's a very strong verse from Conway, in my opinion. Conway and incidentally, Conway and Flea Lord, they link up for some pretty impressive collaboration joints too. Either one of those two brothers, Westside Gunn or Conway, Flea Lord does pretty good work with both of them. No More Humble Fashion skit 2 is track 10. He's basically giving you a heads up that next up in December will be an album produced by Havoc, which I'm interested to see because that's who Flea Lord kind of came in the game with, is under the cosign of Prodigy, the late Prodigy. And he's just reiterating on here, his work ethic and the fact that he's 11 for 11 and not a lot of cats are doing that. So give him his love, give him his roses for that. So, and then track 11, Broken Still Lying featuring G4 Jag. G4 Jag guy has a really unique voice. He kind of reminds me of the dude that was in Flip Mode. What's his name? Christ alias DV or DV alias Christ. He doesn't have that irky jerky flow that dude used to have, but he just has this really commanding voice, this real deep voice that just really penetrates the beat, and he's an interesting cat. I didn't check out that G4 Jag and Me Fucks project or EP, but Broken Still Line is Flea Lord doing what he does. And then there's last track 12, No More Humble Fashion, the outro. Another solid track. But I said this about this last comment that I'm making. I'm gonna jump off here, but I said this about Action Bronson. There's a really formulaic pattern to how Flea Lord rhymes. Again, I'm not saying this to diminish what he does or belittle him, and his skills or whatever, but he's pretty much like struggle. If you look into his lyrics and his lines, very often it's like a reference to the struggle, a reference to the street grind, a reference to a streets reference. Then there's the ad lib, food reference. Then there's talks of a line about business success and working his plan and his commitment. Then there's a business lesson reference, something that he learned in the game, and he moves beyond it. And then there's his music appreciation, whatever producer that he's working with or whatever that producer specializes in or their signature part of their sound, he acknowledges that. And that's kind of what he then he repeats. He goes back through that sequence of that's kind of the DNA of his songwriting. Which, like I said, it's not a negative thing. I will say it's pretty interesting that Me Fucks, like I said, who did West Coasting, Me Fucks seems to provide beats that kind of that challenge Flea Lord and get him out of that kind of rapping, and he makes him play with his flow a little bit, and I think it's all good. So like I said, man, I don't have anything negative to say about no more Humble Fashion. Very consistent record, well put together, solid. So check that out. Let me know if you get into that this weekend. Like I said, man, I'm on my way to go get this walk on this treadmill and check out Deutsche Marks 2. Let me know if you think anything about that cruise control, or if you have any high anticipation for Shay Noir's After 12. I hope I'm saying that right. It's not 12 after. I want to say it's after 12. But I'm excited to see what she's going to do as a producer. There's not a whole lot of female producers out there. I think that's a big, not a big challenge, but an interesting task to accept, to come out here on in the wake of As God Intended, and working with the production of an Apollo Brown, and for your next project to be something that you handle on your own. That's some risk taking to me, and people want to see. It's a lot of people that really have a that highly regard Shay Noir, and a large portion of the success of a project is going to be how it sounds, what you do with it sonically. So I think that's an interesting undertaking, and I think she can pull it off. I listened to the sample, the snippet that's on her IG page. I like it. I don't think you hear Mussolini on there. So I want to see what sis does. And I just think she's a very solid, well-rounded artist, and brings something to the game that just not every MC, not every artist out there is doing. So we'll see what goes with Queen Shea Butter, or whatever her nickname is. My apologies. Anyway, let me get on out of here, man. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.